Today we are grilling barbecue pork chops alongside a loaded baked potato, and every once in a while we have to eat vegetables, so we're making some grilled zucchini. What's up you guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name's Nick. I hope you're excited to be grilling with me today. The very first thing we're gonna do is actually go outside and we're gonna get our coals going, and while our coals are getting nice and hot and ready to use, we're gonna come back inside and prep everything. So let's get started. Get a couple pieces of paper towel and then put some olive oil on there, avocado oil, whatever you got. What this is going to do is it's going to help this paper burn slow and hot so that it gets your coals going really good. This prevents you from using something like a tumbleweed or a wax cube. Next thing you want to do is just put this at the bottom of your grate or the bottom of a bed of coals. Fill up your little hopper with coals, then get your piece of paper lighted on fire, set them to the side, and let them do their thing. So now that we have our coals started, we have about 20 to 30 minutes before our pork chops are actually ready to go on there. And if you're not getting your pork chops from an actual butcher, it's really hard to find some really nice, thick, big pork chops. So what I went ahead and did, I went ahead and I just bought this half pork loin. What we're gonna do is we're gonna use this, cut them up into about, 3-4 finger sized pieces, fillet them in half, and that's gonna make us a nice big thick pork chop, one that you're gonna wanna eat at home. Now, if you're wondering what this is behind me, I don't know if you could see it or not, but we had an issue with our tub and we had to have plumbers come. They had to rip through our ceiling and drywall guy hasn't come yet to fix it. So just in case you're wondering, I don't get angry and punch holes in the ceiling. I do that on the wall. I don't actually do that on the wall, but you get what I'm saying. So now we're just gonna get this out of the package. I'm gonna show you how to cut these up and fillet them, and then we're gonna get our seasoning on there. All right, so we're just gonna take a couple paper towels and we're just gonna kind of pat this down a little bit. When it comes in the package, it's full of all this like solution that they keep it in, probably a preservative, and to me, it's just really disgusting. So I just kind of want to get rid of some of this extra juice. After you're done patting it dry, if there's any kind of excess fat on here, you can kind of go ahead and just take it off. I'm not going to trim this up a whole lot or be really picky with it, but there are some areas that just have a whole bunch of fat on there. So I'm just going to kind of come and take some of this excess stuff off. Just go ahead like that. You don't have to be too picky. This is going to be under some very high heat on the grill. So it is going to render down, be real nice, kind of just like with the steak. So what we want to do is just count about 3 or 4 fingers, and we're just gonna call it good right about here. We're just gonna cut this off, get this nice and sliced right through there. And we're gonna come back about, a nice little 3 fingers right here. Come back again, a nice little 3 fingers right there. And with this one, we'll just kind of take and cut it right about down the center. So now that we have these little chunks cut out, what we're actually going to do, since they're way too thick, we're going to take and cut down the center of them and butterfly them. If you've ever butterflied anything before, you don't want to cut all the way down to the bottom. You want to leave just a little bit down at the bottom so it kind of opens up just like a butterfly's wings would. And that's going to make these a lot flatter. They're going to be a nice thick cut for a pork chop. So we're going to go ahead and do that now. So you're just going to go cut right down the center of this. And as you can see, it's starting to open up a little bit. Just keep making some nice little incisions until it lays just about flat. Just make one more. There you go, and there you have it. And that right there is going to be one nice thick pork chop. So we're going to go ahead and just repeat this with all of them. Maybe put this off to a separate plate so that way you have a little bit of room. We're just going to go ahead and keep taking care of these one by one until it's all done. So now that we have these butterflied and we have our nice big thick pork chops, we're going to go ahead and season them. And today I'm going to be using salt, pepper, and my friend Roy down from Kansas City came up for Christmas a couple weeks ago, and he actually brought up some seasoning from a barbecue joint down there, and I'm going to try it out on these because I'm making some barbecued pork chops. I'll let you know how the flavor is, and you could probably buy it online somewhere. The first thing I always usually start with is salt. I don't really know why, I just choose to start with salt, and you can go ahead and lay it on pretty thick. These are really thick pork chops, if you could see, so they could take a lot. And then the next thing I'm using here is pepper, and I'm just getting a nice little coating of pepper on there. I know it's kind of hard to see how much pepper is actually getting on there, but there's a decent amount on there. And then the very final thing I'm going to use is whatever kind of barbecue rub that you're going to be using. If you need to make your own, there's a lot of recipes online, or you could use your favorite barbecue rub. But just go ahead and put that on, flip it over, and repeat on the other side in that same order, and then go ahead and take your pork chops and get your edges with the leftovers that are on your cutting board. So now we have these beautiful little pork chops all seasoned up and they look and smell amazing. I'm really excited to try these. So we're gonna let these sit here and get up to room temperature while our grill coals are still getting hot, or whatever it's called, whatever they do. But the coals aren't ready yet. Let these sit out, come up to room temperature. We still have our zucchini to prepare, and also we have our baked potato to prepare. So I'll show you how I do that now. So when you make vegetables, there's only two things that you need. One, vegetable, two, knife. And maybe a garbage can for the leftovers that you don't eat on your plate, because you're going to eat all your meat, obviously, and your potato, and this is probably not going to get eaten. But I'm making this just because my wife wants us to be healthy, so I'm going to show you how to cut a zucchini. This is what you do. So this is what you do with a zucchini, just in case you didn't know. You chop off the top, and you chop off the bottom. Then you're going to take it, and you're going to cut through the center of it, just like that. Then you're going to lay it down flat. Look at how perfect that is. And then you're just going to take and you're just going to cut it into little squares. Or I guess it's not a square, it's whatever shape this is. Triangle. Look at that. You have little zucchinis. Now, this is a pretty small zucchini. It's pretty thin right here, if you could see that. So you don't want these on the grill that long at all. Maybe like 30 seconds aside, set it down for 30 seconds, flip it 30 seconds, flip it 30 seconds, and you're probably gonna be good. So now these useless vegetables are cut up and ready to be burned on the grill. So now we're gonna go on to something a little more useful in life, like these beautiful little potatoes. These potatoes provide great nutrition and will help you stay healthy. If you look at my physique, you could trust everything I say about health advice. I'm practically not a dietitian. I can't actually say it because I'll probably get sued by somebody, because this is America and people do that here. But yeah, so we're gonna wash these off so we don't catch any contagious viruses that spread and shut down economies. We're gonna make sure we wash this very thoroughly, and then we're gonna put it in the microwave. Now, I know what you're thinking. It's a baked potato, you gotta bake it. Well, you don't. You just put it in the microwave for like 5-10 minutes, and then it's ready. And we're eating dinner at my house tonight. At your house, you can make these however you want. But yeah, so let's go ahead and get these washed. Okay, so now I'm here to show you how to wash a potato. You get the potato wet. And yes, I have dishes because I'm a human and I eat food. And you get dishes when you do that. And then you just kind of scrape this repeatedly. The more picky your wife is, the longer you want to do this for. My wife just happens to be watching me do this right now, so I'm going to make sure this one is nice and good, so that way she has confidence in my cooking ability for the future. Alright, I think that looks good. Okay, so now we have our fork. I'm going to show you how to poke holes in this, okay? This is really easy. You just kind of take and you just kind of poke holes in it everywhere. You want to be really careful you don't stab yourself in the hand. So if you notice, I kind of stick one end in and I just kind of work my way down. Don't just be an idiot and go like this, because you might hurt yourself. Okay, I'm not speaking from experience, I'm just speaking. So the next step is to place this in the microwave. The internet said 5 minutes on one side, 5 minutes on the other. We're gonna see if that's right. I'm gonna start out with 5 minutes and see what happens. You don't need a plate, just find a little angle that it just sits nice on. Okay. 5 minutes. Start. For our loaded baked potato, we're actually going to be adding on sour cream, cheese, maybe a little bit of butter, and we're also going to do some green onions. So I'm going to chop up a few green onions real quick, and after I do that, it should be time to go put our pork chops on the grill. We're going to be cooking these to about 135, 140 degrees. This is, when it's at its medium to well done stage. You can let it go to like 130 if you want it to be a little bit more like the medium side, but 135, 140, right around there is perfectly good. They're going to be nice and juicy. We're going to get these seared up super nice out there. I'm excited. I hope you guys are too, but let's get back to onions, green onions. All right, so now we got our little pack of green onions. We're gonna open this up. We don't need a whole lot because I'm just making one of these for me. So I'm just gonna take off, one little knob, I guess two. So we're just gonna set these down. We're gonna cut these at right about there. And we're just gonna kind of take and we're just gonna cut really nice and fine. And this is probably about good to me. Our potato is in the microwave. We have chopped our green onions. Now it is time to go out there, spread out our coals. We're gonna create two different zones, hot zone and a cool zone. It's all really gonna be hot, obviously, but hey, one side is gonna have the coals, one side's not. So what we're gonna do is go out there now. I'm gonna show you guys how we do that. So as you can see, our coals are nice and hot. They're turning into like a nice white color. So I'm gonna go ahead and dump these in here, but before I do that, I wanna get my grill grates sprayed down really good with some of this olive oil spray. Just that way so they don't stick when they're searing or anything like that. I don't want them to stick. That'd be horrible for the video and for my palate. So I'm gonna take this and set this off to the side here just for a second. As you can see, it's nice and hot. So just gonna go ahead and give this a good, nice little spray down. All right, so we're gonna pick this up, set it off to the side just for a second. We're gonna go ahead and get our coals, which are nice and hot, and we're gonna be creating a 2-zone fire. So I'm gonna dump this out and try to keep these all onto one side. Yeah, as you can see, these coals are nice and hot. Whoa, oops. So just gonna kind of spread these out, and this is gonna be the side that we are searing on. So we're gonna get this back on here. So now it's time to get our pork chops on. All right, so we're just gonna take now, set these bad boys on there. Okay, so now that we have these on here, we're gonna give them about a good 2 minutes or so. Then we're gonna take and turn them, just so that way we get some nice little X grill marks on there. So I'm gonna cover these up, let these go. It is like 0 degrees outside right now, so I hope this doesn't affect our temperatures at all or anything, but hoping this gets a really nice sear. We'll turn it and we'll get to eating soon. See you guys. When you come to rotate your pork chops, you're just going to kind of turn them in a 90-degree angle like I'm doing on the screen. Just kind of rotate them around, and then once you have that all done, you're just going to go ahead and close your lid. Let them cook for another couple minutes before you come out to flip them. Now it's time to flip them, and here's where you'll find out how you did. And yeah, that one got really burned, so it goes on the ground where it deserves. I get really angry sometimes. That wasn't necessary, but I mean, that's just what happened. Now we're going to be probing our meat. We want it to be around that 135 range, which it was, so we took it off, and we're going to let that one cook a little bit longer. Now that our baked potato is done, we're going to cut it open, and I like to take a fork and fluff all that inside a little bit. It just kind of breaks it apart and makes it easier to eat later. Next, put a whole big whopping of cheese and sour cream on there. Then we're going to put it in the microwave just to get that cheese melted down a little bit. Now that our cheese is melted down a little bit, we're just going to kind of spread and mix in that sour cream and cheese together. Top it off with our green onions. When all your pork chops are close to being done, go ahead and throw on your zucchini. They only take about 2 minutes if they're thin like this. And then you'll have your final product. Okay, so everything is finally completed. Before I dig in and take a bite of this absolutely beautiful plate, if you guys take a look at this, I mean, this looks absolutely phenomenal. Let's slice into this pork chop first. I'm just gonna take this off the plate because I can. So just gonna slice into this bad boy. And as you can see, this is so beautiful. I mean, each one of these little slices is nice and juicy. It's just cutting through just like butter. As you guys can see, you squeeze this, I mean, it just has a bunch of juices coming out. Super tender, super moist. It's probably going to be packed full of flavor. Let's give this a try. I loved smoked food, but sometimes the smell of the char that a pork chop or a steak gets, or even like a burger or something like that, off those grill grates, it's just unbeatable. So go ahead and take a bite. Wow. I think I definitely could have put on more seasoning. I was being cautious. I didn't want to do overkill, but man, the salt and the pepper on there, it's just perfect. It's absolutely perfect. But that barbecue seasoning, man, that's really good stuff. Shout out to my friend Roy. So let's go ahead and take a bite of our other things. I went ahead and I grilled up some of this miserable vegetable. I'm only going to take a bite for my wife to see on camera. I'll be eating a vegetable. You know, if I was smart, I would have seasoned it with like a little bit of salt and pepper, put some olive oil on there. Probably would have made it crisp up a little bit nicer, but I'm not smart, so I didn't do that. But it wasn't actually that bad. I'll give it that. Then we got this baked potato here. And I don't know how you eat your baked potato, but I'm a man, so I just eat it like this. That's it for today's video. I hope you guys like this content that I'm making. Everything that I know how to do, I'm going to share with you guys. So I hope you subscribe to this channel. Give this video a like, share it with your friends, or never watch it again because my sense of humor is absolutely pitiful and it dreads you to watch every single one of my videos. But yeah, if you like this pork chop, Let me know in the comments. If you actually make my food, please comment in my videos and let me know how it went. If it sucks and you hate me, I'm sorry. But if you end up loving this recipe, I hope you give me a little shout out and say thanks. So, all being said, I'm signing off for today. See you in the next video.